Hello and welcome to the February 6th meeting of the Rotary Club of Park Cities. If you would all rise and greet your fellow members. Okay, and if you'll make your way back to your tables, but please stay standing. And if Elmer will make his way up.
Howdy, everyone. Howdy, everyone. Can y'all hear me? All right. So my name's Elmer Valdespino. I'll be doing the invocation today. Is there anyone that has any a special issue or yes? Anyone here that has needs a special prayer for an illness or any other circumstance? Okay.
My father-in-law's dealing with cancer.
Oh. Okay. Let's have them in our prayers. Let's everyone bow our heads. So we ask our Savior and Lord to heal your significant or your relative. Let's take a moment also to be grateful for this time that we have together, for the gift of fellowship and the freedom to gather for a shared purpose that unites us for service above self. We give thanks to the time, talents, and friendships represented here, and for the many perspectives that strengthen our understanding. Especially in times of uncertainty, may we remember the power of respect, dialogue, goodwill, and common ground. As we begin this meeting, may our conversations be guided by wisdom, our decisions by integrity, and our actions by compassion and patience. May we bring calm where there is tension, clarity where there is confusion, and hope where there is concern. May the work we do together strengthen the community, honor the dignity of every person, and quietly move our world towards a greater cooperation and peace. For this opportunity to serve and for one another, we are truly grateful. Amen. Amen. So now we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Acapella? Who's a good singer? I'm not a good singer.
Oh,
Okay, Happy Bucks. Anybody have any good news that they want to share?
I'm happy to announce that next week we will be having a world-class musician, Dave Tanner. He's played for presidents and royalty, and he'll be here speaking and playing the piano and singing the songs. And he was a researcher for Paul Harvey, so you'll hear the rest of the story. It'll be a real treat. If you haven't heard him before, you will be pleased that you came. He is quite entertaining, and I'm happy that he'll be here.
Where were you in 62?
Where were you in 62? And he'll be talking about the music and the history of what was going on in 1962, including what was right here in 1962 and the music of the Beatles and Elvis Presley, etc. You get the idea. Thank you.
I'm not sure I can speak, but I want to give a happy buck of thanks for my fellow Rotarians and staff from the restaurant downstairs that got me up those stairs, and I appreciate the help. But, and $1 won't help much, but get the doggone elevator replaced, please. Thank you.
Yes, they're expensive.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you made it up here, and we'll have to ask Maggiano's when the elevator is going to get fixed.
Thank you. Well, I hoped you all enjoyed hearing the national anthem a little while ago. For the next 2 weeks, you won't be hearing it much as Canada whips your rump in.
All right. Them are fighting words there. I don't know about that.
No pay for that. Okay.
I'm really happy because y'all really showed up and showed out to strategic planning on Saturday. Thank y'all so much. It was awesome. We've got some great things to work on. So thank y'all so much for coming to strategic planning.
Ditto on that. We had a good turnout. Eight.
Yes, all right, Kat.
My husband and I were celebrating our 45th anniversary. He ended up with a detached retina, but he's still in Mexico enjoying the weather because he could not fly back. But he is on his way for improvement, so he can somewhat see now. Anyway, and I think Alabama beat A&M.
She paid, though. She paid.
We got some big talkers today.
Hey, here's one everyone can cheer for. The USA hockey team is playing this week, in the next few weeks, and Ottinger's probably going to be in goal. So everyone get behind Team USA.
I think that's everybody but Tom. We got one back there.
I've got a proud mama moment for another. I'm putting an IOU in here because I don't carry cash. A proud mother moment. From what I understand, my oldest, during the Super Bowl, there may be an ad from USAA, and it starts out with a flash of some guys from World War II, and then a flash of a scene of 4 Marines. And my oldest decided to take on an adventure and go and make an attempt to audition for such an event. And he's the one with the smile on his face in the front of the 4. So, and it's true, they were all 4 of them were veterans, but he was the only one with field experience. He said, Mom, I even had to help people show them how to properly hold their weapons. And it was 2 days of filming, and it's like 3 seconds in the ad. So, and I'm proud of him.
Well, we'll be on the lookout for him. Any guests today? Anybody guests to have? Oh, there we go, Siobhan.
I'm just going to walk all the way across the room here. We have 3 guests today that are visiting. In particular, I want to call out Bill Kelly. He is a former member of our club, came all the way down from Ottawa, and he has brought along his son, Aaron, and their friend Dominic. So I don't know if you want to say anything, but...
Hello, Canada loves you.
Well.
So welcome, and please make them feel at home. Thanks.
Thank you for being here today. Mark's got a hand up over there.
I am super excited to have my neighbor Brady Gales here. Brady has his own insurance agency, the Goosehead Agency, handling home and auto insurance, and Brady's a longtime Aggie. Marilyn, I know you might not be able to speak over here, Marilyn Hargrave. You might not be able to speak. Thank you, Marilyn. There we go. Thank you. Please welcome Brady Gales.
All right. Well,
There.
My friend Eric HEITKAMP has achieved great things with the price of our pharmaceuticals. He's figured out how to lower them by 150%.
get it? New math. Oh, I got it.
And there we go with Bill's weekly ribbling of Eric. Okay, anyone else? All right, Jack Carpenter, if you'll come up.
All right. Yes. Go on, Jack. Oh, great. It's Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl this Sunday. And you're wondering, what does that have to do with us? Well, I'm glad you're thinking. Like a good referee, pay no attention to the flag. I'm going to do the foundation talk using my hand like a good referee. So right now, I'm pleased to tell you, we have 33% participation. 45 members have contributed to our foundation. What does that mean? Our president's given us a goal of 85, so we've got 52% to go to score. So let's win it for the Gipper and help us score for our little Gipper, President SARAH, so that we can score for the big Gippers, all those organizations that we support through our foundation, so they can score for their people that they support. Let's score for our club foundation. Now, scoring reminds me of birthdays. When Mama scored, so let's have all the birthday members stand up. Stand up. We got 4 of them in the room. Show them your candles. Score with your candles. All right. Now, I'm also pleased to tell you all 4 of these gentlemen have scored this month for our foundation, so thank you for your contribution. Now, stand up. Stand up. Jason, stand up, please. Stand up, Scott. And Mark, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear birthday. Happy birthday to you. So please score and remember this. Go Patriots! Back to you.
Well, that went better than I thought. My kids make fun of the way I throw a football, so. Okay, Mark Kasher with the Marketplace Advertiser.
Jack, that was awesome. We do have some great check presentations lined up in the next couple of weeks, so you can see where those donations are going, so stay tuned for that. But today I am here to highlight our sponsor of the week for the Hub, which is Mr. Mark NEACE. So Mark NEACE is a servant leader who's also a content marketing strategist, a board advisor, and a video director and producer with 35 plus years of industry experience. He's got a passion for golf and sustainability. Be sure to ask him sometime about working as a professional caddy. They do call him the Caddy Daddy for a reason. Over the past 15 plus years, Mark's actively served in leadership roles and facilitated advanced leadership training in both Scouting and Rotary. He serves on the board of directors of the Movie Institute in Plano, where he also just moved his content production operations to. What allows Mark to support these causes is guiding brands and leaders with clarity, story, and purpose-driven content that builds sustainable business value through improvements to operations, sales, and marketing. In today's competitive and digital business landscape, the power of communicating effectively with video to your people and the public is more critical than ever. When business owners lead with service and invest in strategic video assets, they build long-term value through savings, growth, and purpose. So Mark is seeking additional consulting and board advisory opportunities and is always available to speak on servant leadership and content strategies and industry trends. So Mark's got some breaking news today. Everybody give me a drum roll, Mark, for this. Thank you. All right, so Mark has a special gift for everyone today. So there's a QR code on your table and a discount code, 2026 gift, to register for your free clarity, story, and purpose self-check to see how aligned your messaging is with your purpose. So be sure to connect with Mark on LinkedIn at Mark NEACE, and stay tuned for the launch and schedule a visit to his Addison studio to get to know each other better. So let's please thank Mark NEACE.
And thank you, Mark, for everything you do for our club. Appreciate you. All right, raffle drawing. If Herb would present the hat or bowl of tickets to Yolanda, you'll pick one ticket, and our total of today is $358. $358. All right, and the winning ticket is 3841. 3841. All right, Sergio, come on up. Jack's full of all sorts of surprises today. Ten of spades. So he gets to keep that card, and we'll try again next week. There's one less card in the deck. Okay. Past President Eric HEITKAMP. You want to come on up and introduce our new member?
Well, new members are the lifeblood of our club, as we always say, in every organization. And I am really pleased today to have Dr. Ron Clinton. He grew up, or was born in Cisco, Texas. Anybody know what's famous about Cisco, Texas? That's right, the very first Hilton. You are correct. So, yes, so Ron got his master's and doctorate in piano performance. He's here in Dallas with his wife, Susan. He has been, now I went blank on everything I was going to say. He's a 25-year, all the excitement going on in the club. He's actually a 25-year Rotarian. He is past president of the Pittsburgh Club over in East Texas and now officially former past member of the Mount Pleasant Club. And so he is president emeritus of Northeast Texas Community College over in East Texas. And him and his wife Susan, again, just recently moved here to Dallas. So we are you're going to be a fantastic member. You have been a fantastic member, and we're really glad to have you at this club. Welcome.
And we've got a folder for you and your red badge if there's a list of things that you need to work your way through, and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you. All right, Jill Jordan. And Monty, if you'll be on deck.
Okay, you all, it's the start of voting season. You have ballots on your table for voting on the parade theme for this year. We had 21 Rotarians submit ideas. We had 76 ideas. And that made quite a job for the team that shortlisted. So thank you to the shortlisting team. And we've brought it down to this number. So what I need you to do is put an X in the column of which one's your first choice, an X in the column for your second choice. Leave the pieces of paper on the table. I will pick them up at the end. And if you didn't get a ballot, I tried to see where people are. There are a few extra around, and I have a few with me too. So please vote.
All right, Monty, your turn. Come on up.
Thank you, President Sarah. So I'm excited to announce that we've got a new community partnership, and that is Crossroads. Crossroads is the largest community food distribution center for the North Texas Food Bank, for those of you that didn't know. They're actually in the location where North Texas Food Bank was originally, down in Cockrell Hill. Last year, to give you an idea of who they touch in our community, they did over, let me see, there's 18 Dallas zip codes that they support, and last year it was 1.285 million meals. So pretty exciting. They have a culinary kitchen, and our Rotary Club Foundation last year actually gave a $5,000 grant to help renovate that culinary kitchen, and they got a matching grant of another $5,000, and so now that kitchen is open. So there will be more serving opportunities actually through the kitchen. They prepare healthy plates there. Their whole idea is to teach families to cook healthy plates, right, and meals. And they're integrating nutrition, medicine, and education with that. So I'm going to introduce you today to our relationship manager, Monty Montero, of the Crossroads group, and she's going to tell you about a new volunteer opportunity. Congratulate Monty for us.
Thank you. A little taller. Okay, so we have a volunteer opportunity coming up March 7th. The first Saturday of every month, Crossroads does a Saturday shopping day for the shoppers in the community that can't come out during the week. So there's a couple of different things that us Rotarians can do. We can go to their storefront and help them stock the shelves, work at the register, help shoppers take their groceries out to the cars, and then there's also an opportunity to work at a cubicle and sit down with a shopper and help them make their budget and their grocery list for when they get into the store. So two very unique opportunities to volunteer face-to-face with shoppers. So if you want to look out for an email from us, it's going to be March 7th from 10 to 1.
Okay, and then we have a couple other quick announcements. So mark your calendars for February the 12th, the wine and chocolate tasting at Total Wine. If you've already signed up, otherwise Siobhan told me we are now full. We don't have a meeting on April the 3rd for Easter weekend, and then we are back to volunteering on April the 11th, and that is our North Texas Food Packing Day. And Susan will be sending out sign-outs for that as we get closer. And then don't forget, we have been invited to the Downtown Club's Dockside Social at White Rock Lake, which is, they have hors d'oeuvres, and I think it's like a whiskey or bourbon tasting, and it is $30 a person, and that is on April the 23rd. And Mr. Brady, if you will come up and introduce our speaker of the day.
All right, RCPC, we are in for a treat today. Mark, is this monitor over here working? I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll find out. Hey, how about this? How about this? Let me just pique your interest a little bit. How about a top-tier law school, a research center, or a virtual reality studio? Well, they're all being built out in downtown Fort Worth right now, or soon to be so, as the newest Aggie campus takes shape in Cowtown. Overseeing the story of how this enormous project is communicated, both internally and externally, is Yolanda Schufford, right here. She's the Executive Director of Marketing and Communications at Texas A&M University, Fort Worth. She's also a nationally recognized leader in marketing and communications, of course, and a former colleague of mine at WFAA-TV, part of her illustrious past. In fact, Yolanda spent 12 years in broadcasting as a news anchor and reporter in Dallas and in Indianapolis, and her hometown of Kokomo, Indiana. Radio Kokomo. Was that a Beach Boys song? I think. Okay. That's how I know it. Now, since then, she's done a lot. She's led communications, marketing, public affairs, and philanthropy efforts throughout Texas-based organizations, including Beyond Finance, GM Financial, and Comerica Bank. Recently, she was named to Reagan Communications 2024 Class of Top Women in Communications and honored in New York City as the 2024 Woman of the Year in Consumer Services by the American Business Awards. She mentors women of all ages, serves on nonprofit advisory boards, and is an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She lives in Mansfield with her husband Ray and their 2 adult daughters, and she enjoys crafting, puzzles, and of course it's Texas, so also football. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Yolanda Schufford.
I'm shorter than Jeff. Okay, let me pull that. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Jeff, for, it's working. Okay. For having me. Jeff and I spent many years talking about developing stories, and some 20 years outside of news, I am still talking about developing stories, and I have a great story for you today, and I am so honored and so pleased to be here and thrilled to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. Now, I have not been on Texas A&M's team for very long. It's been less than a year. And I was in financial services for a long time and news for a long time. And when I decided to get out of financial services, I took a year off to kind of decide what industry I wanted to be in. And I didn't have a plan. I just knew I wanted a different industry. And so I ended up in higher education. And one of the reasons why I took the job, because it wasn't for the money, that's for sure. But one of the reasons why I took the job is because in the first interview, I interviewed with the team, my boss, and I could tell the passion that they had for this project. Now, I've lived in Texas for 25 years almost. I had no idea how expansive the Texas A&M University system was. And so I got a great baptism into the world of Aggieland. And from day one, they threw me into the fire, and I've been talking about this project ever since. And I want everyone else, as a girl who hails from Indianapolis, Indiana, to feel the excitement about what Texas A&M is doing, because it's not just for Texas A&M University, it's not just for Texas A&M system. You're going to find out a lot about this project. Some people think we're just building a law school in Fort Worth, and that's not it either. So we're going to talk about the vast project and what A&M is all about. I first want to go over, for those of you who don't know, how many Aggies do we have in the room? We got a few. Brady, I met Brady, and so our invocation man. He's an Aggie. Okay, what year? 09. Okay, well, I'm way before your time. But I'm not an Aggie, but I learned quickly that A&M system has now 12 universities underneath it. So the flagship, we all know, is Texas A&M University, and then there are 11 others, and the 12th one just came online in September of last year, and that's Texas A&M Victoria. So also underneath that system are 8 state agencies where the governor came in and said, you know what, we need other agencies to be managed, and he picked Texas A&M to manage those agencies. So one of those being the Texas Division of Emergency Management. Their Region 2 headquarters is in Fort Worth, and in fact, if you go, I don't know, about 6 offices down from me, that's where they sit, and they have built a beautiful warehouse. So those are the types of things that I didn't know about A&M, that they have 8 state agencies that we manage and supervise along with the 12 universities. And then we have Health Science Center. And then our Rellis campus is a new baby. You can go to the Rellis campus, and I think 11 of the 12 universities, because Victoria just came online, you can take classes and get a degree from any of those 12 universities in one particular setting. So that's in Bryan, not College Station, but Bryan, which is, you know, the neighbor. And then there's us, Texas A&M Fort Worth. So the one thing that we want everyone to know is that this is a system campus. It is Texas A&M University Texas A&M Fort Worth, but it is a system campus. And we're going to talk more about what that means because oftentimes people just think the law school needed a new building, and bless their hearts, they do need a new building. So if you've ever been over to the School of Law over in Fort Worth, they are housed in what used to be, and I'm going to get you on this, Southwestern Bell, remember that? Southwestern Bell's Call Switching Center. That's how far that building dates back. And I bet you if you found someone who worked there, they probably can tell you exactly in that building where they sat. Because when you walk in, it's a time capsule. So if any program or academic program needed a new building, it was the law school. And they will be a big part of this campus, but they won't be the only part of this campus. So let's look at the campus. We are proposing 5 buildings, the first of which opens in the summer of this year. It is the Law and Education Building. So it's not even the gateway to the law school. Law school will be in there, and we'll talk about what goes into that first building. The gateway to the law school is actually building number 2. But we are building Law and Education. So the law school is about 1/3 of that first building. There will be other programs, and we're going to talk about those. So that's the first building. It will open. We'll go over the timeline a little bit later. The second building is Research and Innovation. So what does that mean? We are heavily focused on research and innovation at Texas A&M. And so that's going to be housed, that's where our state agencies, those 6 state agencies that will join us, 6 of the 8 will be with us on the campus. They will be housed in this. This is a beautiful partnership with the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County. They actually gifted us the land for the second building. We're actually working with their architects to build the building. So they have a great ownership in the second building and the third building. The third building is going to be dedicated to our performance, visualization, and fine arts school. So if you watch Landman, any of the shows that are filmed, you will see lots of landmarks from Fort Worth. The virtual production industry and gaming is just blowing up everywhere. And we have the Virtual Production Institute that is in Fort Worth. We have students who are earning bachelor's degrees in Fort Worth for, we call it PVFA, Performance Visualization and Fine Arts. But they're going to have their own building, and it's going to be accessible to people who want to film in Fort Worth. But they also have production studios. It's amazing what they're doing now in virtual production, where you feel like they are shooting on scene and they're actually in a studio about the size of this, with big screens and lots of production. And we also work with Probably Monsters in Fort Worth for the gaming side of everything. So all those neat little goggles that you see and everything, some of that research is being done at A&M. So that's the third building. So that's where the city comes in. And then the fourth building is going to be Research and Innovation B. And we're too far, into the project to talk about, or not far enough in the project to talk about what's going to be exactly in that building yet, but that will be another Research and Innovation. That's a big part of A&M and a big part of the agencies, the research that they do. So that will probably spill over into Building 4. And then the fifth building, the current law school, will be torn down. I don't think anybody's going to cry too many tears over that one, but it's going to be torn down, and it's going to be the gateway to the campus. So they're going to build it back up, and that will be the central nerve center for the campus. That will be where probably us in administration will probably move over there, the student center, that sort of thing. So the old law school is not going away, but it will have new space and new life. So we at Texas A&M Fort Worth, we are breathing new life into an area of downtown Fort Worth that needed some revitalization. The area that we're building on right now, and it's those 5 areas right there that are blank, they were parking lots. So in an area of downtown, the transportation center, the intermodal transportation center is there. So if you ride Amtrak or you take the TRE over here to Dallas, you're probably going to be across the street at the intermodal center. But there was nothing really there besides there's the law school across from there. There's the Sheridan, there's the Water Gardens. But on that strip of land at Jones and Calhoun and some of those other streets, there was nothing. So when you're going into Fort Worth off of 30 and you're crossing 30 and 35 is running, north and south, and 30 is running east and west, you're going to see our new building. You're going to see the big block. I call it ATM, but they get mad at me. It's TAM. It's actually TAM. The block TAM is going to be, because it looks like ATM. So the big block is going to be there. So you're going to be able to see it from the highway. And it will breathe a lot of life into an area that really needed it. It's that southeast corridor of downtown Fort Worth. So that's what it looked like before, pre-development, and that's what it will look like post-development. Of course, with the last 2 buildings, still working through some work with the Board of Regents on that one to get them fully on board with committing to those last 2 buildings, but that is in the plan. So here's what's coming to our campus. So the reason why we call it a system campus, and it's not Texas A&M University only, it is a system campus. And the reason why we call it a system campus is because we're going to have 2 universities on our campus. We will have Texas A&M University, the law school, engineering, several different users. We'll also have Tarleton State University with us. We'll also have a 3rd university with us, but they won't be offering academic programs, and that's Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They're going to be working on research projects that have to do with aerospace and aviation. So we'll have 3 universities, but only 2 of which will be offering academic programs. And those academic programs are going to start in the fall of 2027. And then along with 2 universities that we have, and the 3rd, which will be research, we'll have 6 of the state agencies with us. So they'll be doing service, like we call it TDEM, but the Texas Division of Emergency Management, when there's a disaster that happens, like the ice storm, all the flooding that happened in Texas south of us not so long ago. TDEM was there, our Forest Service was there, a lot of different agencies were there. We're going to have 6 of the agencies, some of them heavily involved in research, engineering research, aviation research, medical research, so all of that. So that's what will encompass our campus, and that's why we don't refer to it as Texas A&M University, because that hurts Tarleton's feelings, right? And then Corpus Christi's like, what about us? And then the agencies are like, well, what about us? So it is a campus for us. It is a system campus with universities and agencies on our campus. And these are our partners. So when we talk about this being a unique project for Fort Worth, for North Texas, for really the state of Texas and all around the world, it's far-reaching. We cannot do it by ourselves. We wanted to bring together industry, research, innovation, academics into one ecosystem, and something that we have not seen in this area before. Fort Worth was so forward-thinking, they wanted to build an innovation district. So they were thinking, far beyond our years. What is this world going to look like for our kids, our grandkids, their kids? And what are we building here to make sure that North Texas is sustaining over a long period of time? And so they asked A&M then to become the academic anchor of this new innovation district. And so in order to make this work, this is our village. So all of these partners we work with to make this campus become a reality and to make the programs, the research, and the innovation that we want to spark work. So that's our team. We also are partnering with the Fort Worth Tarrant County Innovation Partnership, call it Fort Worth TCIP. And that was developed by Fort Worth and Tarrant County to build this ecosystem that we're talking about, They support us, but they don't only support us. Their goal is the Innovation District, and that Innovation District will largely be that corridor that I showed you of Texas A&M, but it will be far-reaching. So they're working with us closely because we're the first in the district, and then they will start to build out what this district looks like, and that is in play right now. And so this is the Texas A&M system members on the left, and then we have our industry partners, and then together we work in hubs. So we didn't want to just be willy-nilly out there. We're going to all work together and everybody's going to do their own thing. We wanted areas of focus. So a lot of those areas of focus include the media and entertainment. So we talked about the performance, visualization, and fine arts and that role that it plays in this new campus. Healthcare and innovation is huge. We partner with Cook Children's. We partner with JPS. We do some other partnerships. There's a group called General Genomics that are doing amazing things in healthcare and neuroscience. So we're partnering with them to build up that hub. Agriculture and food is a huge part of A&M. We just finished the stock show. It wraps up tomorrow, but we finished our day at the stock show a couple weeks ago. And AgriLife and the research that they'll do in that second building on the campus is going to be amazing. I'm going to show you some pictures of what their space is looking like. And then we have aerospace and innovation. And I talked about A&M Corpus Christi. So one of the programs that they're doing in regard to research has to do with the federal program with aerospace and innovation. So those are our 4 main hubs. The other 3 at the top, we want to make sure our students are ready for workforce. So workforce development, there's a lot of attention on that right now to make sure when our students leave us that they have jobs and places to go because of the industry partners that we have. So that's a huge focus for us. I wanted to include this in because not only are we working on the campus in downtown Fort Worth, we're actually helping the city with some other projects that we just noticed because we're going to be down in that area. So if you see on the map, there's a curved road. I'm so short, I can probably reach it over there. But there's a curved, if you look in the middle, there's a curved road by the convention center. That big dome is the convention center. They're undergoing a huge renovation project as well. One of the things that our dean, I think Bobby Adier was here last year talking about Texas A&M Fort Worth. One of the things that he noticed is when you step outside of the current law school and you look down the street to downtown Fort Worth, there's a curved road and there's a big building belonging to the Fort Worth Convention Center where you can't see downtown. I mean, it's blocked. And so what they have done, and we worked alongside them, is to make that street straight. So that's some of the improvements that we're talking about when we're improving that corridor. So you don't have to do this to look downtown, that now you can just step out of the law school, the street is straight now. And if you haven't seen the plans for the Fort Worth Convention Center, they just unveiled, I believe publicly, some renderings for the new convention center. It's amazing. So they'll be really close to us. We'll share parking garages and things of that nature. So we're very excited to see their growth and to help as much as we can with the beautification of that area. So this is the timeline and the progress that we had. We talked about the law school. So it was acquired. I don't know if you guys know that Texas Wesleyan was the law school, and then A&M acquired it in 2013. That's how we ended up with the Southwestern Bell building. And we've been there ever since. Bless their hearts. They've been toughing it out for 13 years now, and they'll start to get a new home. The initial meetings for this new campus began in November of 2020. So you can imagine during COVID, why not strike while people are sensitive and ready and wanting to try new things? And so the initial meetings started. The project was announced then in November of 2021. So this has been quite an undertaking, if you can imagine, 6 years of work and planning. The programming began. Burnett Plaza is where I sit now. That is a temporary space for many of the users who are going to go in the first 2 buildings. And the reason why we brought everybody together in that space is so we can start to learn each other and know each other and become friends and understand that we're all going to be working together in those 2 buildings. And so it was genius. So we have law school with us. We have some members of the Transportation Institute, which is one of the agencies. They have a whole side of the floor. We have TEAM, which is the emergency management. We have Texas A&M Fort Worth. We have University. We have Tarleton. So everybody is on one floor. And we try to do things together so we can start to know not everyone who's going to be in the building is on that floor, but the main players are there. And so we're in Burnett Plaza, which I used to work for GM Financial, and they're in Burnett Plaza, so then I get to see all my GM Financial friends, which is really nice. So we're going to miss that place, but we have to move out of there in August because we're building a new building, and we have to vacate that area. So we broke ground for Law and Education in June of 2023. And I'm not going to go through all these. We had a topping out ceremony, which is when they capped everything. And then we closed in the building finally last fall. And then the air conditioning came on, which was really nice because I was a part of some of those tours in the summer of last year, and there's not enough shade. There's not enough shade in that building. It's an 8-story building, and so the air conditioning is on now, and then we'll start moving in May of 2026. Not everybody's going to move in with us at once. It'll be phased, but we'll start moving in, and hopefully by August, most of the players will be in the space. Engineering, law, Tarleton, and those sorts of programs will be in play and ready to accept students in the fall of 2026. Yeah, 2026. So we're doing that, and then we're going to also try to break ground on the second building on the same day we do the grand opening of the first building. I don't know how it's going to go. We're calling it a ribbon breaking or something. I don't know. It's a ground cutting. I don't know what we're going to call it, but we're going to try to do them both at the same time because it is hard to pull together the people who have been very instrumental in getting this project together twice in about a month's time. So that's going to be very exciting for us. So the building highlights, I just want to talk about Building 1, and these are not all the highlights because not all of them belong to Building 1, but I included some others in there as well because obviously the 6 state agencies are not going to be with us in that building. They'll have temporary space between us, Water Gardens, and the current law school. But it's an 8-story building that we're building. It is the first one, almost done. I'm going to show you some great pictures. In fact, the picture on the cover was the newest picture that we have of construction. There are 350 workers on site, 6 days a week, working to get this project finished, completed, done. We'll have the 3 member universities. We talk about the 6 state agencies. It's approximately 30,000 square feet per floor. So we're not talking about small potatoes. It's going to be good. And 51 programs or departments will be with us, campus-wide, 13 user groups and 6 agencies. So that's a little bit about what our building highlights are. And let's talk about Building 1. We talked about it being the academic anchor. The groundbreaking was in 23, topping out, and then we'll open in 26. These are some of, we hung an A&M, this is a funny story. We hung an A&M flag on the crane, and it hung for years. And we've probably been through about 6 of those flags. And believe it or not, Aggies would drive by the building. And if it were, I mean, it's way up. It's, I don't know, 10, 12 stories up because the crane flies higher than the building. If it was tattered, people would call our Board of Regents and ask for the flag to be changed. It was a huge thing. And so finally the crane came down, but before it came down, they took the flag down. Well, that was another call. Where's the flag? Why don't we have the flag up? And so it's just, the flag became, so now when people leave or they retire out from A&M or they've been an instrumental part, we cut a piece of the flag and we have it embroidered and we give it to people as gifts because it became the symbol of the construction site. So that's why I kept the picture of the flag in here. But it was, I was amazed about, they didn't care what was coming on campus, they just wanted to know where that flag was and why is it looking the way that it looks. And when a Board of Regent calls and says, we need to change the flag, you better believe there's a rush to get the flag changed and looking good because that is not acceptable. So Building 1, here's what's going to be in Building 1. So the current plan users, of course, Texas A&M University School of Law is going to be there. Engineering, recruiting, the Health Science Center, it's going to be a part of this. That's Texas A&M University. But then Tarleton is going to have nursing programs and all of their health sciences programs in there. Mainly, we're going to offer graduate programs. So there will be some undergraduate programs offered on the new campus, but it's mainly, you know, your second and third degree, your PhD, your master's, and that second level part of your secondary education. So that's what we're going to work through. That could change over the years. We are landlocked, as you can see. I mean, that space is the only space that we have. So it's not like we can add a whole lot, but as the buildings come into play, we can shift people around and do some other things. Additional users, so I don't know if you all remember, I think it was a year or 2 ago when Governor Abbott decided, he loves A&M, he loves his A&M. We're going to put the state business courts under Texas A&M University's purview. So we will operate an actual courtroom in the bottom floor of Building 1. It will be the state business courts, mostly civil cases. The students will also have access to do mock, courtroom and all that. So I want to spend a lot of time down there. As Jeff knows, in news, we spent a lot of time in court. Not us in court, but covering court cases. Let me clarify that one. So state business courts will be there. Right when you walk in to your left, you can see the court. So it's very, very prestigious for us to have that as part of the A&M campus. May School of Business will be there, School of Pharmacy, and some of the others. And then we'll house some of the temporary, the folks who will be in Building 2 will house with us temporarily. So that will be Building 1. Then there's Building 2. And Building 2 is going to be our research and service anchor. That's where a lot of complex problems will be solved. I was amazed when I went to the Rellis campus because every agency has a building at the Rellis campus. And we weren't allowed to talk about the research that they were doing, but they were showing us, from agriculture and bees and studying the art of bees and honey and all sorts of things, all the way to, we have a full runway there for aerospace and aviation where they test equipment for aviation, and even how things are structured on the highway. They were running tests on different, structures, and will this work, and how much will this hold, and these are built up in these buildings, and it's incredible research, but we were under non-disclosure, so we couldn't talk about it. I was thinking, stories. And they were like, no, you cannot tell these stories. So a lot of research and development will go into that second building. We will have a School of Law. That's where Dean Bobby Adie's office will be. It will be considered, Building 2, oddly, the gateway to the law school. So I don't know why they decided it that way, but the law school will be spread out then between 3 buildings. But we'll also have College of Medicine and some of the others in that building. PVFA, the Fine Arts Group, they will temporarily house in Building 2 until their building is finished, so we can get them more space so they can accept more students. Tarleton will have medical labs, and then engineering, but agriculture will have like the whole top floor. I'm going to show you a picture of the greenhouses that we're building for them to test food. So it's very, very, very interesting. So our future buildings, the other 3 that are still, somewhat in flux, but, the first 2 are what we're mainly focusing on. And we're hoping that in May that we'll get the construction bid to go ahead with Building 2, which is why we're going to try to hold the groundbreaking. Keep going. Oh, okay. Oh, yes, because we're almost finished. So PVFA will go up in 3rd, the research and innovation, and then the gateway we talked about. So that's the timeline of how this is all going to work out. And then the trick is, where are we going to park everybody? But we will have parking in our second building that we will share with the city of Fort Worth, because they have a small parking garage there, but it's not nearly enough to hold what we're bringing to that part of Fort Worth and what they have going on. So let's take a look at some pretty pictures. That is the rendering of Building 1. Boy, we've been back and forth with that big ATM at the top, because we're a system campus, they wanted the seal. Well, we don't even put the seal on our pins. When you shrink it, of course this would be huge, it's really hard to tell. People recognize that ATM as soon as you see it, right? The seal, you kind of, what is that, even though it has the TAM on the inside. So we went back and forth. We looked at what the seal would look like on the building, and we looked at what ATM would look at the building, and then there we have a dean of law school who's very instrumental in getting this project done, who wanted that TAM at the top. So on this building, it will be TAM. On the second building, it's going to be the seal. And so we're going to work a little bit, play well in the sandbox to make sure we appease everybody. So it's 8 stories. We don't have green space, so we had to build 6 terraces to offer green space on the building. So you'll see you'll see the greenery up at the top. We had to build it up rather than have green space around, because we're in an urban setting. So that was a big talk about, is how do we bring the outside up. So there are six terraces, very nice. So then when you enter in, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the School of Law, even though that is being debated right now too, because Tarleton's in the building too, and so it's like, but that staircase that you see there goes all the way up through the building. They wanted something signature, And so they said the staircase would connect all the floors. I think it cuts off at like floor 4 for just a second, but then continues on throughout the building. So you can literally stand there and look almost all the way up to the top of the 8 floors. The law school, the courtroom is going that way, but then there's a cafe. We wanted Chick-fil-A in there, but we didn't have enough space. They require 1,500 square feet or something like that of space, and we only had 9. And so they were like, we can't, because Dat Wynn owns the Chick-fil-A down the street from our building that we're at now. So we thought, it'd be nice if he could have the cafe. So anyway, that didn't work out. But anyway, we're going to have a cafe in there, and that's going to be nice. That's the courtroom that we talked about. That's the business court. We call it the moot courtroom for the business courts and the students. So it'll have a bench. It'll look much like that. We're debating, because of rules with the seal, if we can, because it's a business court and us, can we have the seal behind there? So I was in a signage meeting yesterday to talk about that. The library in the new law school is going to be 2 stories. So it'll start at the 2nd floor and it'll go all the way up to the 3rd floor. So that's a photo of the library. That's the reading room. That's pretty typical of what you see in a law school with the green lights. It's also a 2-story structure for the reading room, so you can go up and down inside of there. This is one of the law classrooms, one of the lecture rooms. It's tiered. There's one that looks like this that's square, and there's one that's a little more rounded, and those will be open to the public to reserve sometimes when law school is not using them. And then there's engineering. Engineering is a big part of this building. They have a lot of space. So on the bottom floor, there are engineering labs, and then on several floors, different engineering labs. And we got a sizable gift to build out engineering for Texas A&M Fort Worth. And then we have the nursing. So Tarleton will have actual labs for their nursing. There are actual mock hospital rooms in there, and that's what you see there to the back. And then they'll hold classes in those. And then we have lots of common space for the students. So on the back here, there's a whole, in fact, they asked me to name that room. Who knows what we're going to name it? I don't know. But this is one of the common spaces. But on every floor, they tried to have a common space for students to convene, talk, get to know each other, have a place to relax, whether it's outside, inside. So that's one of the common areas. And then we have a multi-purpose room. And it can be set up for classroom, or it can be set up for, I didn't put the classroom one in there, but it can be set up for banquet or classroom, because we have a lot of training with our research groups. Our agencies will use it to train. So we'll need that space. And it's on the 8th floor, on the top floor, and it has like a pre-function area. So you can do a lot of different events in there. And we anticipate hosting the city quite a bit for events in there. And then this is our 2nd building. I told you we're going to incorporate the seal into the 2nd building. So this is a picture of called RIB, Research and Innovation Building A. And you see the that's not the law school. See, I did it there. Law and Education Building right there to the right. So there will be a corridor that walks right in between the 2 of them, so people can pass through freely. The first 5 floors of this building, all parking garage. So it'll be 1 lower and 4 on the top. So there'll be a parking garage there. And there's the entrance to, of course, Howdy will be there. We have to put that in there somewhere. I think it made it through all the approvals. So that's one of the entrances to the parking garage. And then when you come in, there will be, this is really, I would say the aerospace and innovation area off to the left there, because there are like big engines they'll be building and everything in this space, and big old garage doors and bays where they're going to be building off into those labs. But this is the entrance into building 2. And then I told you our state agencies will be there. So TDM is one of the ones that will have their emergency management space there in that building. And probably need more room than that. I don't know how big their room is, but they have a huge staff. But they also have the warehouse in Fort Worth. And then there will be labs for different testing and research. So that's what that is. And those are the greenhouses that will be at the top. That will be used. AgriLife is like over the moon excited about the greenhouses. So that's what they will look like, and what they'll grow and test food, and running all sorts of reports and research. And then that's one of the classrooms that will be in, and try to do a lot of tiered classrooms to capture attention and make it as modern as possible. So that's it.
Thank you so much,
All right.
Yolanda.
Did I take too much time?
Great presentation. We're kind of out of time, but if you don't mind staying after for a few minutes, is that okay? If people have questions?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, you're welcome.
Yolanda, as our club's way of saying thank you, we place a book in your, in your honor in the Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School. So thank you very much. Next week's speaker is Dave Tanner. Where were you in '62? As Brian let us know. And Ron Clinton, if you're available, come up and do the four-way test if you'll start us off.
So let's all stand for the four-way test of the things that we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it be build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Okay, everybody ready? Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Good to be here. You were easy on that bell. You were easy on that bell.
I just wanted to hey, I'm Dominic. Nice to meet you.
Hi, thanks for coming today. Thank you. So please go back and tell Canada that we love them too. They might not be feeling the love right now, but we do love them too.
It's helping keeping the bond, building bridges.
Do you have like a packet or anything for people who are
joining? Yes, absolutely. So Siobhan, over here in the orange shirt, she's our membership chair. Let me introduce you. Sure.